You guys were one of the storylines when you guys ended up winning that cup against Detroit the year Witt got dealt for Kunitz, by the way, just to remind
Thanks,
everyone.
I appreciate that.
But that was such a cool story. You guys were like playing against other teams' top lines. I remember you guys were killing penalties together, and it kind of became like its own little caricature of the team.
Yeah, no, I think everyone had a role, and we joked about it because I can't remember how it happened, but someone said he's are you one of the? They asked him, "Are you one of the pieces that that made the?" And he goes, "Yeah, if you want to call me the piece, I guess I am." Yeah, and so as soon as he walked in the locker room, we're like,
"The piece,
hey, the piece. You're the piece." But yeah, it was good. I think any team that wants to do something has to have role players. You have to have guys that stepped up. We had the studs, with Sid and Malkin. But you need other guys to step up. So it was good. But I will say, in 2008, I don't know if you remember this, Whit. We were getting kind of pushed around by Detroit. And I still remember Whit goes on the bench. He screw this. I'm not backing up anymore. And it was awesome. Like, he goes out, and I don't know if you remember the ship. You just stood up on Datsuk or something stupid. We're like, what is he doing? Oh, and it worked. And we're like, oh my God, all right, let's.
I think he trucked me, but I stopped his forward progression, so that's a win.
We're like, all right, Whit's got an idea here. Let's roll with it.
Hey, Datsuk was one of those guys where sometimes you'd go to hit him and you'd end up on your ass. Like, he could throw some reverse hits.
Just crazy freak strength that you never expected either.
I was going to ask Skillsy. I think you were kind of one of the last guys I can remember that would get a six-pack after games in your stall. Like, you would always have a six-pack ready to go, and that was to me, that was the last sense of old school hockey that I consued. I think you and Billy G.
Yeah, well, I still think if you're going to go out there and work hard, you deserve a treat after. You
just worked your bag off for 3 hours.
Yeah, give me a freaking beer. I think that was one of my favorite things about being in the NHL was we're going to go work hard here and we're going to enjoy it after. And now guys have protein shakes and they wouldn't let us have pizza my last year. I'm going, what are you talking about?
That is who I am after a hockey game. I've played 1,100 of them.
When I'm in Buffalo, I want buffalo wings and beer. When I'm in Philly, I want a Philly cheesesteak and beer. That's the way it goes.
I couldn't agree more.
Game's changing.
They should actually they should have put it in the CBA, the last one. Remember our negotiations that it's mandatory just to keep it an even playing field. That you have to crush a six-pack and a Philly cheesesteak in Philly after the game.
You're just forcing the last beer down the rookies. You're like, drink it, and then you can have your protein.
And no watching video.
What's funny is talking about having a couple beers, living the NHL lifestyle on the road, I guess it used to be. You and Chris Mason, who's the the color guy on TV down in Nashville, you formed the Bag Chuckers. So kind of explain the beginning of that, because I think it's hilarious, and it goes back to when Orpik told me that when he was first year, they'd be like, "Hey, throw my bags in this room and then meet me here."
Yeah, well, that's the way. Right, my first year, I remember I went to Buffalo with Boston. We went up to Buffalo, and one of the guys goes, "Hey, we're gonna, check our bags and go." And I was like, all right, where do we go? So I went up to my room, kind of hung out for a little bit. I go across the street to a Buffalo House or whatever, I don't know, some wing place. And I was the last guy there. I was 15 minutes. I was like, this is awesome. And we just sat there and ate wings and crushed beers. And it was the night before a game. Everyone, from what is you go to bed at 10 or whatever, but you crush beers from 4 to 10. And that was the way it was everywhere we went. So it was actually funny. I was talking to Jeff O'Neill when we were up in Toronto, and he asked me, he goes, "Were you the last bag chucker in the NHL?" And I'm like, "I don't know if there's any more bag chuckers." So we were kind of laughing at it. And Chris Mason he goes, "I've never heard that term before." And I was like, "Well," he goes, "I know exactly what it is. I just never heard it put in a phrase." And so as soon as we started talking about it, we kind of took it and ran with it and made some T-shirts, had a good time with it.
But Bugsy didn't get the memo that it stopped at 10. He just
yeah, no.
But Bugsy had
guys
he thought it was 10 a.m.
right? 10 a.m. The bus leaves. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. What time's pregame skate? I'll be there.
Yeah, and he played better when he did. So go figure.
Yeah, exactly. How are you supposed to say something to the guy who goes out, he fights and blocks 4 shots, maybe falls over twice and scores? It's like,
Whit, you remember the shot that he ate?
So
that was me. I blew up his face.
I'll never forget. I think you tell the story way better, but just when after we're all crushing beers at that place we used to go for lunch on Carson Street. What was the name of that spot? I don't remember. It was a great spot though. We'd have beers and lunch, and we're sitting there after the cup, and you were so genuinely sorry, Bugsy. I feel so bad. Your face looks horrific. You're fucked up. And he goes, I don't give a shit. You're gonna make me an extra $1 million a year on my next deal.
I love it. So I have to tell you guys, Biz, Whit, like he's, temperamental, man. If he has a bad day, he doesn't hide it, right?
No.
Not well at all.
Not well at all. And so if he had a bad game, bad practice, whatever, we'd go out for lunch after practice, and every time we'd go, I'd see, damn, Whit's down a little bit. I have to do something to cheer him up, and for whatever reason, I decided that just guzzling a beer, he always got a chuckle, the same chuckle he's doing right now. So I just chug a beer quick, and he turn his mood around and get him going again. The little smile, and it always,
like, wait, the last 3 games.
It kind of benefited you both a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of a nice little give.
I'm a good guy like that. I'll chug.
This guy's easy to please. This guy's super easy, super easy to please. And I catch a quick little buzz. This is awesome. I remember that. You're like, Whit. One time you're like, Whit, you've had 3 tough ones in a row, but that doesn't mean the 4th one's going to be bad, buddy. Chugga, Stella.
All right. To bring in here, the best way to describe Skillsy was probably the one teammate that I wouldn't be shocked who would strike up a conversation with a stranger. You could walk in any place and he'd be talking to a stranger. So you've probably actually already had a conversation with him before you met him on the podcast, all right?
Actually, I sat next to family members of his when I flew up to Montreal years ago when we were heading up for a bachelor party. And it was actually small world. It was your wife, actually. I sat next to her on a flight up. We were going for a bachelor
that's right.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Like, don't give it to him don't give it to Hal too hard this week. I'm like, don't worry about it. We won't. Pretty funny. She was very generous. She offered her Roots card for a discount at the shop.
Oh my God, that is so Canadian. The Roots cards.